All right. Well, we're back at it. Tonight I am working on. There's been a lot of progress off stream. So this is the big night that I finished doing the assembly on. I got the chassis done. Did a bunch of dry brushing. Did some fun little color bits on the tubes. Started painting on the corn banner down the middle. Did manage to mess up a little bit on the panels. My black primer, for some reason, was not as warm as the primer sitting next to it, which is the Leadbelcher. And thus, they got a little chunky. Very dark. I forgot to adjust my camera, that's why. So, rather than trying to strip it and go through all kinds of craziness, I was like, you know what? I'll just work with it. So, I'm working with it. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Game's gonna go wild here for a moment. That's better. Okay. Let's do weird stuff. Alright, so that's fixed. Got my channels up, everything's set up over here, but yeah. So things got a little chunky. It's unfortunate. It's just the texture on it, and you can kind of see it's coming through. But hey, I'll work with it. That being said, I do think the kind of emerald green sheen that was going on worked well and is going really well with the Retributor Gold. So, did all that. Now I'm just running through some details and cleaning up work. Like here's one of the shoulder pads with Night Skulls. I got that one blue. Trying to figure out what color I want that Night Skull to be. Yeah, so we're going to start off the process though by working a bit on the base, because I did get the base down. I sealed it with Elmer's glue, hit it with the white primer, did the black lines around where the resin's going to be to help seal it. So now comes this stuff, which is a texture. Tool to scoop with. Not that one. That one. And brush I don't generally care about. That one. So this is the stuff that's going to give it the rocky texture, if I can open it. There we go. Let's do that over this. Alright. So let's get all these out of the way so we don't put any bits on that. Now this is a... Yeah, I've gone through half of this thing already. I didn't even use it on all of the War Dogs because I used a bit of one of the GW Technicals, but I ended up finishing that off completely. Part of the reason I have to do the Elmer's glue is on the very first version. The cork that I'm using to build the rocks soaked up tons of the resin. Even with paint, even with stuff, this is way too crunchy. I need this to be a little looser. It soaked up enough of the resin to make a difference, so I had to do... Okay, that's better. I had to put the Elmer's glue to kind of seal it. That's where we're at. Twitch is doing stuff to me. Just kind of slop this around. It doesn't need to be exact. Though I almost kind of want to just like spread it more like a putty knife. Faster just to spread it on and then rough it up a bit. It sounds horribly inappropriate. This one is one of the bases with the least amount of resin so far. And that's just because I could not find the way I had worked on this night. I didn't really have a spot that I felt would be good to put the bloodletter coming out. So the bloodletter is actually going to be just on the base, especially because he's like a special bloodletter. So I left the base a little more room for activities to fit the bloodletter on. And now the next night, which I think is going to be the one that'll be frequently used as the Rampager. Because his base is going to be very different, so his base is going to be having lots of Wraith Knight bits on it. Or its base, so I will need to make sure the bloodletter is coming out of the top. Probably. I might put more than one just to have some fun. And then, dang it. Easy out of there. Yeah, I can be in there a bit, but. So. And the Knight Tyrant, who it will be my Warlord most often. He's going to have 3 bloodletters. He's going to have 2 musicians flanking a banner bearer in the middle. Just because I want to go hog wild with that one. And I got plans for that night for stuff I picked up today. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Got a little bit of textures here and there. Rough this up a little bit in the fused mode. This will get a nice rocky looking thing once it's dry. So we set that down for a moment. We're going to clean that up around those edges so I can get this camp on and secure, because I do not want this stuff drying out because it was not cheap. And more importantly, it's very, very useful. So, don't know how much people are going to be here tonight because the Warhammer channel is streaming. Hello there, Sandras. I think you're the only one tonight so far. Alright. I think, imagine, is it going to... The Warhammer channel has a lot of viewers, so my guess is that they are streaming games. So, oh, and there's the Austin Rogue Trader, I think, or Austin. There's a big tournament going on in the U.S. So they're streaming that. Thus my little viewership's gonna go down. That's fine. Don't do this for the views. I do this for the work. So anyway, on to painting. So I made a reasonable amount of progress on this guy so far. The custom corn banner and things. So, though I did have a reasonable screw up too. My black primer was not as warm as another primer, and it came out chunkified, unfortunately, so I got a bit of a bad texture on some of the stuff. Just working through it because I couldn't really like clean this off because this is all done with the skulls and everything. So it's like, oh, it's just be a nightmare. So, just gonna work with what I got and go for them there. I haven't had that happen in a long time because I keep my primers in an area where it's not cold. So, did not think that was going to be an issue, but alas, it was. That being said, it did come across with a cool texture. I'm not it wasn't my intent, but it worked out okay. So, happy accidents. The words of the immortal Bob Ross. Happy little accidents. I'm going to jump around a little bit, just because a lot of what I'm going to be doing is touch up and clean up stuff. Put a little shade and shadows, contrasts in a few corners. Throw everything off because that was stuck. How did that get on there? What crap? I can cover that up with a decal. So have you been, sir? Hopefully you're doing well. Your painting lessons been going good? Is your student learning? Okay, I wanted to touch this. That one was fine. I butchered that one so bad. Urban Blick. Stram Gray. Excuse me. That's a shade. So yeah, we're going to be jumping around a bit tonight. It's going to be a lot lots of, well, touch that up, let that dry. While that dries, work on this part over here. Put paint on there, let that dry. Dry out my brushes so much. So I'm jump on over this. Gonna do this war scroll thing. First I'll base it in a silver or a gray. Ooh, I wonder if I could put some decals. I bet I will absolutely put some CAS decals on this thing. That'll look nice. Bordog kits, the decal transfers for those have a bunch of like CAS scribbles and things like that. Let's do a couple coats of this though, so you can really get it to hide the green. Thank you for calling, sir. Appreciate you using the emotes. Nematode Pulse XL. Doing something on Blue Sky. Hopefully they come on here. Or on the YouTubes. Both open. But yeah, I'm not expecting a quiet night, which means I'll probably get more done because I won't be so tempted to chat. Though I should be chatting. So, talking is what helps me get my work done. I love crafting with people. I don't like doing it. I mean, honestly, if not for this hobby streak kind of challenge thing that I'm doing for myself on Blue Sky, every day I put up what I worked on, I don't think I would be getting anywhere near as much done as I have been. Which is disappointing because I very much. Closing shifts. Well. Sorry to hear that, sir. Well, hopefully I'll entertain you with my mutterings and ramblings while you're working. As much as you can listen and not, distract yourself or get hurt or anything. Because that'd be bad. But there's a Blue Sky, which is there's a challenge of hobby streak. I got a word there. I post it every night. I'm on day 46 of posting what I work on that day. I don't think it has to be that day, but I do it just what I worked on that day as a way to keep myself motivated to get this shit done. fight the depression. Focus on getting the stuff done because it is very nice. Oh, goodness. It's a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling when you get finished. Like, I did another one. Like finishing my bombing over here. This is fucking, I was so stoked when I finished this dude. Yeah, I got his extra guns, but he's only ever really going to be fielded this way. So, it's like, that's fucking awesome. So, the more I push, the better it is. Oh, I did want to get to do. I need to use Cycle Brown this. And then I did, that was Balthazar's Gold. So I get to jump on this, down up. Maybe do this so it's on camera. Be beneficial. That over there and hang and dry so that it doesn't get messed up. Alright. Now, let's get this done. So I do need to do some Administorum Gray on these spiny bits. That dries over there. Figure out what. Actually, I take that back. I know exactly what color to do for my next one. Because I've got a blue. Pterodon Turquoise. I was going to do this if the Eldari Green didn't work out right. I was going to use Pterodon Turquoise, but the Eldari Green worked out very well. Eldari Emerald, sorry. So I'll be using Pterodon Turquoise for the next one. Which actually be perfect. It's this lovely blue color for the melee knight. When it gets up in your face. Uh-oh. Streamboot.com. Glassy sensations something 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 something. Ban. Badoomba doomba. I feel special. I haven't had a bot post for a while. Like, you know, the site's got to make money somehow. There's got to be enough people that fall for it or sign up for it or just like this would be just a waste of. Though I don't know how much time it actually takes. Probably none. Okay, so that's that. Belcher. It's a very disgusting Leadbelcher. storm gray on the cockpit thing as well. Keep forgetting I re-angled my camera a little bit so that I don't have to lean so far forward. So think about it, there's that red and black trim on that knight's mask. I think that'll be nice. There we go, but I'm black there. Perfect. Let's touch up detail work. So this guy's going to take. These chains are good and done. These chains dry, then I need to do the other knight's mask. And then I'll need to do the wood spike that the knight is strung up on. Grab some actual pigment there for some reason that wasn't. Or just too wet. Bit of trim. Also some. This is so wet. What is going on? This is fresh, but I'm black. Should not be this wet. Touch up in there. This black trim all done up. I'll go through and redo some of the red. I think I've got some. I do have some good red shades that I will use. Shade this down. Instead of Nuln Oil. Wrong Nuln Oil, but you know, just a little more variety in my colors. Oops, definitely get the underside. Nuln Oil done. Of this black. good enough that no one will really look. If anyone looks in there and goes, it's not painted in there, I'm going to smack them with a rubber hose. It's fine, it's not painted in there. Okay. Well, if you're not too watery, Mr. Mindstorm Gray. Yeah, you're good. You're not too runny. You'll let the Abaddon sit there too long. It's quite possible. I did cue it up before I was really ready to use it. So maybe it absorbed too much water. I haven't thought of what to do with this shield yet. There's that damaged shield. Goodness, excuse me. That's not here. That corner is center. All right, so let's get some Retributor armor. How those bots, do they look for specific people with low viewer count? Should make sense. Like sort by the lowest viewer count streamer. Like, I don't even know if you can. Guess that's how it's done though. Like searches, like streams that have, you know, under 10 viewers or something, or under super small percentage, and then advertises them, because realistically, if you got lots of viewers, you're not buying that stuff. So, think. If I were creating the bot, that's what I would do. I'm not creating a bot, nor will I ever. No desire for that. Ooh, actually, you know what, this would work really well right here. Oh yeah, that probably works very well. Just had the idea to do just a little bit of like metal around the pilot's viewing, I don't know, cockpit window. But I'm just doing this in the gold I've been using for all the trim. that. Let's get some gray. Window. Okay. Excuse me. All right. Should grab myself some more to drink. I mean, I'm like, oh, I'm almost done. And then I remember I got Gatling cannons to do. Gatling cannons. Howdy, Herdic Scott. Yep, Airbase and Chaos Knight working. I got 2 more after this despoiler is done. Yeah, this despoiler is done. I've got 2 more big knights to build and paint. And then 2 more, what will be War Dog Executioners, but they're the Armiger kits. So, I could do the same. That's what I should do, honestly. It's the same Cygor Brown. If you buy the Questoris kit, because this is how you make your despoiler, because the Desecrator doesn't have one, correct? But Desecrator can't be equipped with one. But the Questoris chassis one, because it has the thing on the top, he comes with a Gatling cannon. And then through the magic of eBay, I was able to score a second Gatling cannon. The hang-up is there's 0 chaos on them. Luckily, the Despoiler, Abominant, Ruinator kit comes with a ton of these little guys, like 4 different versions of that thing on top. So, yeah, the STLs, I have looked at that. I have looked at some STLs for some other Chaos Knight weapons. Yep, 2 Gatling cannons right here. For your double Gatling despoiler love. But then you can also have that, I can do, a lot of people I've been seeing are doing Gatling battle. So, yeah. But now I got 2 Gatlings. I have seen the STLs for the Chaosified ones. That's a bit much. The rotating cannon, that's cool as hell, mind you. Mine does not rotate. Mine are just the regular ones. But I chaosified this guy heavily. He's got lots of skulls and stuff, which this is gonna be such a pain in the ass. The pain. This one's got other Dead Knight bits and things. And a shield. Well, there's a lot of kit bashing, like the underslung banner. This is the battle standard from a Bloodletter, one of the battle standards from the Bloodletters. Then I cut apart, flipped it upside down, hung it on the banner, and put a chain on it. And awesome Blood Angels. Anywho, let me grab a larger brush so I can Cygor Brown this. Not only is it a metal loincloth, it is a Khorne logo loincloth that has blood. So that is exactly Fairy Chaos. I'm going to be bouncing around a bit as I paint something, set it aside, let that dry, work on this, set that aside, let the dry, work on that. So, excuse me. So forgive me on that, but I'm going to, for all my bits I do, they're primered with Leadbelcher, a heavy coat of Cygor Brown, contrast, and then dry brush on a silver, Runefang silver, to get the rusted old look that I was going for. Yeah. So, I ended up having to buy multiple more bottles of Cygor Brown. And the other thing I'll have to do is the other Chaos Knight that's not a Chaos Knight kit is the Tyrant, who's the big one that comes with on the Knight Dominus chassis. That, unfortunately, also is not a Chaos Knight kit. There is no Chaos Knight kit, so I will have to chaosify that one. But he's gonna. I've already got lots of extra bits for him. The next one, I'm gonna have some very creative stuff to do with the base. Because that one's going to be stomping on a Wraith Knight's blade and holding a Wraith Knight's head in its hands. In a hand. So. This just looks ugly and muddy, and that's exactly intended. So once this dries up and I hit it with a dry brush of the silver, it looks very nice and rusted up. This cast stuff is anything but fresh. So what are you starting on with your Blood Angels? What's first in your painting schedule? Oh, and Heretic's got part of the ability to make it look like a Chaos kit is having shitloads of bits. Tons of leftover bits. Salt Intercessors from the Combat Patrol. Very nice, very nice. That's awesome. It's one more than you had last time. Hey. 980, is that including enhancements or not? In models. So yeah, then you can absolutely do a 1K game if you wanted to play a game a few weeks before the new edition drops. And honestly, it's much easier to learn on the smaller smaller point games. It's much goes faster. It's easier to get the hang of the rules and be like, oh, I need to do this. Oh, that's this. So it's part of the success of like Combat Patrol and Spearhead. It's the small, easy to manage games. But a couple of 500s, once a 1,000. Slick. Stop stabbing me. That's awesome, sir. I have not played anything with my Chaos Knights yet. It will be soon, though. Ain't stressing on that. I know we're already, the store I'm going to is already working on setting up a couple leagues for New Edition. Basically in the volume of play that you want. Like, you know, some people are going to do the play once a week league, and it's like, well, that's nice. I don't think I'll be able to do that one, but hey, maybe once every 2 weeks for me. Maybe I'll be able to do it once a week. I'm not sure. Oh yeah. It's not even that they have a lot. That's kind of their signature jam. They also have the most tired Marine ever. That's Dante, of course. He's just tired. Poor boy wants a rest. He just wants to retire. But there is no retirement for Marines. Only in the death. He's also one of the few, I guess, like, bigwig Marines that's met 2 Primarchs. No. To you. It's in McGilman and the Lion. You know, that would be funny. Like if Logan or Jagatai Khan or Vulcan come back for the next Primarch, they have Dante meet him, be the first like Marine of Authority to meet them again. Dante be like, it's not really me. I got to meet all these weirdos. It'd be like a fun running joke. Dante's the Marine they send a Primarch reintroduction squad or something. Yeah, he's supposedly around there. But it's not like he met Gilly Billy Boy after a battle when Gilman came out and kind of saved everybody. And then he met the lion. He wasn't sent to meet the lion. He had to do some investigating and was there, and he got to meet the lion too. So it's not like they've planned him to be the one to meet all the Primarchs. I think it'd just be funny if it is. Gilman wouldn't let him die. The lion almost killed him. So. Technically the only Marine to have been alive and met the Primarchs when they were around the first time is Bjorn. If you call being a Dreadnought alive. But, I mean, sort of is. Bjorn is the only Marine to have been alive and met the Emperor, though. Other than the few of the Lion's fallen brothers that traveled with him through time. See, I don't think Dante's keeping the Black Rage at bay. I think it's the Hulk thing. You know, that's the secret. He's always raging. He's always, that's my secret. I'm always raging. I think the only time he would truly, truly succumb to the Black Rage is if they somehow put him in a Dreadnought. Like if he finally gets clapped by something, instead of letting him die, they put him in a Dreadnought. He would come out of the Dreadnought and just go on a fucking murder spree. I'm going to kill everyone and everything. But if you don't have it, you should absolutely get Dante for your army, just because that model is awesome. Honestly, I don't know how good he is. I'm sure he's good in game, but the model itself is they did him serious justice. See, maybe he learned from Dante. All right, that's good. It is such a cool model. That's good to hear. Sounds like it was a good birthday. I got this knight I'm actually working on right now as a birthday gift. I got a Questoris. And then I eBayed the second Gatling cannon and magnetization kit. That's wonderful to hear. Reminds me, I also want to work on his battle cannon. There we go. Just need to contrast up the battle cannon, because I don't want to hold myself into only fielding Mephiston. Yeah, but he's got psychic stuff. That's cheating. Have you seen his the Weta Workshop giant statue of him? If I had, like psychotic quantities of disposable income, I would have that. I mean, I'd have to have a lot of disposable income that it's low on the list of like, ooh, I'd buy that, but it's still really cool. We get to see it in person at Adepticon, and it's impressive in pictures. It's cooler in person. I will absolutely give it that. Just realized I shouldn't have done these armor plates this way, but yeah, well. I'll have to sort that out and do it. It's only a flesh wound. Look up Weta, W-E-T-A Workshop. They make like all kinds of crazy high-end stuffs. I didn't really cast this, but well. They do. They had an Abaddon one. I think it's Saint Celestine, or it might just be a Battle Sister. Excuse me. And goblins and a few other things. But they also did. They did a Mephiston. It's not 18th scale. It's like 6th or something. I don't know. It's huge. The thing's like 2-3 feet tall. It's cool as hell. It's like, damn, that is badass. Now, my wife would love the goblin one. She's She likes the goofiness of the greenskins. So now, I don't know if anyone's watching that is going to be building a Questoris kit. If you do build a Questoris kit, and you get the Magnet Baron magnetization kit, realize that the plasma cannon and the battle cannon share a lot of parts, and they actually take that into account with the magnetization kit. So that way you can swap between your battle cannon and your plasma cannon, and not glue your battle cannon together and then realize that it needs a lot of parts separate for it to work with the plasma cannon like I did. So I do not have the abilities to make a plasma cannon. Which, that, I will probably go on Etsy or something and find someone that'll 3D print one for me. But yeah, I think it's huge. Like, seeing it in person, I was like, damn, that is big. It was cool as hell, though. I have no idea where to put that, though. Like, seriously. My house is not that big. It is very full at the moment with stuff because there's 3 people that live here and a dog. Speaking of dog, there's Sleepy Dog. But it is... Okay, it's pretty slick. The Abaddon one's friggin' impressive as hell, too. I mean, the level of disposable income it would take for me to buy that would be enough that I would have a Warlord Titan. Because I would love to build a Warlord Titan. That also I have nowhere to put. We could just buy the Joy Toy Imperial Knight. It's cheaper than a Warlord Titan and a bit more resilient. The 4,000 Astra Militarum infantry is more effective in game than a Warlord Titan. They are notoriously ineffective in games of 40k because there's just the rules aren't set up for them. It just really isn't. So even in like Apocalypse games, they just don't deal that much damage. Like you would think it would deal more damage than it does, but it really doesn't. A Bane Blade, a Shadow Sword, take it or rip it to ribbons. That's what they're designed to do. Heck, even a Desecrator with the Desecrator laser cannon, or a Knight Dominus with the Volcano Lance will rip that up pretty bad. The Brimstone Volcano Lance. I've watched a lot of games of people using them and just to kind of test it and going, wow, this thing is not effective. Cool looking. they're absolutely there for is purely on the rule of cool. You know, when it's painted up, it's imposing. It's the size of a toddler. Looks amazing. Or it can look amazing. But effective, not at all. The Warlord? Eh. Oh, the melee armies? Yeah. And so far, everything that we've been seeing on 11th edition is going to be pushing hard on the melee, which is great. Because melee armies could use it, frankly. Now, especially with the jump packs and everything, your army is incredibly mobile. And, yeah. E-magnets. I just stuck the battle cannon up under here. This is metal. Alright, so that's going to sit there and dry for a bit. This one first. You are still... No, you're not ready for dry brushing yet, but you're dry enough I can take you off of these. Right, so your brown goes back. Definitely clean off the brush. That towel needs to be replaced. Yep. Why is that? Stupid chat. Okay. Ah! My thingy. No, it's letting it dirty. Atlant jackals. I believe it. So that just came off of that brush. Alright, so let's bounce around some more. What do I want to do with this? Shield and this Night Face. Huh. That's ain't nothing to sneeze at. And now they'll have they can beat jump packs with a chaplain who will give them additional. He is like +1 to wounds or +1. Showing off the chaplain's abilities, and yeah. one will know. Glad I remembered something. So yeah, they're going to be scarier. Well, the way they're talking about the detachments and such, you should be able to make like an entire jump pack army if you want. The whole thing is that you're supposed to be able to make them the way you want them. And so far, they've seemed to be doing pretty good at that. Some people were the one I paid the most attention to, of course, the Knights and Chaos Knights. They have one detachment point detachment for the Tyrants, which gave them access to some. Gave them a nice enhancement, gave them access to some pretty good stratagems. That's the one they showed off. So. Be interesting to see, like, yeah, I could see an entire jump pack Blood Angel army. 4+5 on death, treasure room. It's a hell of a unit. You just gotta make sure you just gotta be smart with your plays and keep them out of line of fire until they're ready to do a pounce. So that would be the only big thing is if they were to get pounced and not pounced, ripped apart and ranged before they get a chance to be effective. That's your one worry. Oh, goodness. Which if you're playing smart, you should be good. Exactly. Because they guarantee that unit's going to be getting targeted something fierce. And as an example, this schmuck here, if I'm fielding him as a twin Gatling cannon to spoiler, will be shooting at you with 36 strength 8. 36 shots at strength 6, AP 2, damage 2, hitting on 3s was sustained. And I think I can, and I might even be able to give him lethal depending on the enhancement. So they shred. Yeah, 36 shots, strength 6. So it'll be 36 and 2 wounds. So 2 AP. Correct. You're looking at the spoiler Gatling cannon. 18 shots. He has 2 of them. So 36 total. Hitting on 3s. Strength 6. AP 2. Damage 2s. And they will have sustained. That's good. It's one way to help reduce it. Is, someone that can actually also good 5-up feels. This orange is bad shape. So that's decent. You got some ways to survive. That being said, that's just that one unit. Granted, he's a hard counter to infantry. But you get up close, you stomp the snot out of it. Bunch of melee attacks, power fists, and +1 to wounds. This thing's going down. That's where the tactics come in. If you outmaneuver me, my guys fall apart. My hopes is that I get to charge you with the carnivores. They're vicious in combat. Or the Rampager. He's the big melee knight. So about the tactics and how we play. So I've already got one red knight mask. I could do, and I've got a blue one. I guess I could do a bright green one. Oh, warps. Actually, that might be it. Excuse me. And if I had let that happen, if that happens, that means you have desperately outmaneuvered me. It would be my goal to make that not happen. That's the game. And that's no joke. That's why it would be my goal to take them down before they get there. Do I want to do the skull half in green too? For paying 2 damage per hit? Absolutely. It is a truck. See, my goal would be to lose one of my data slides. Oh no, there it is. See, this is where this is the game we would play, is that if I were to charge with said Rampager, do the Chainsword in a sweep attack. You're going to have 18 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 9, AP 3, damage 2, sustained lethal. Or I could do it with the claw and have 12, 10, 2, and 3. Absolutely. That is what it should be. Actually, no. Thunderhawk Blue. Wait, no, you're closed. It's Russ. Huh. I have multiple Thunderhawk Blues. Multiple generations of Thunderhawk Blue, as it were. Now the question is how much does that unit cost? Point wise. $315. Not bad, not bad. That's a lot of points. Oh, good gravy. Excuse me. Dinner's attacking me a bit. I gotta do groceries tomorrow. But yeah, as long as that unit is just gotta keep them alive or hidden around a corner until that right moment to strike. Which is a good thing to have. What do I want to do with that shield? Definitely get more of a fist in red. +1 wound is always, or not +1. Rerolling ones is always a good thing, especially with my luck on dice. Still have no idea what I want to do with this shield in the front here. Paint wise. Figure that out. It will. I agree with the statement immensely. Should stack up very nicely. Asking me a question is, can you fit the chaplain in with the guard, the sanguinary guard? Or would you want to? I mean, they should have Dante. Excuse me. Excuse me. My stomach is wrecked tonight. Chaplain cannot lead sanguinary guard. Okay. So you'll have to go with his own unit of assaults. So there. +1 strength. I currently do not have any units with Lance. If I were to get a Knight Lancer, then I would. For the Chaos Knights, that is, there's no... I'd have to have a Knight Lancer who literally has a lance. Dun-dun-dunce, hence the Lancer. But I also don't... We'll have to see what stratagems are and things like that come out. Hopefully you charge first. That's where the maneuvering comes in. English bad today. The goal is for you to charge first. Like, so, say if you were to play my army, carnivores, these guys right here, they have a move of 14, and they automatically re-roll all advance and charges. So they scoot across the battlefield really fast. And they are very potent in combat. So if they were to charge in, that's a possibility. The Rampager, who's the big knight, he can have fights first, sustained, lethal, and a move of 12. So my stuff in general, the knights are weird. Like Chaos Knights definitely can have some potent. We definitely have some potent ranged. I'm trying to go with a balanced approach and have a bit of potent range along with some really potent melee. Like the Chaos Knight Carnivores. I can have Genestealer Cults, a bunch of Atlands, Salamanders. Toasty Salamanders. So there are counters to everything. I am trying to build. I'm not trying. The armies I've been building are balanced. But I also don't know what it's going to be with 11th. I don't know what point. We'll have to see what points costs are going to be, because that's something that I've been talking about a bunch, is that theorizing a bunch, is that melee units are going to get a lot more expensive point-wise due to the fact that they're going to be getting a lot of support and strength. Or they're going to get more expensive, like comparatively. Your ranged units might end up costing less. But we'll have to see. Like, none of it's known yet. So I'll have to see. Like, I mean, if I can... My current 2K list consists of 3 carnivores, 3 Wardog Brigands, or these guys, who are little ranged beasties in their own right. They have an assault cannon that gets 12 shots at strength 6, I think. 12 shot, strength 6. They also have a melt-a-gun, so they can take out some armor if needed. So I got a bunch of these guys roaming around. I got a handful of the carnivores roaming around, which are the melee little beasties. My current list will also consist of this dude, the psychic dude, who got some buffs to the psychic stuff. He's pretty potent, because this is like basically a Volkite weapon, and then he's got his melee stuffs. I'm going to have potentially the Despoiler with his Gatling Love, or Rampager, depending how I'm feeling, and the Tyrant. So we'll have to see what it's going to come come down to. Like my current list will have... Get off of there. Hold on a sec. My brigands are fighting. Stop fighting. So yeah, I've got... It's like the... Here's the Abominant. He's got 12 shots, strength 12, damage 3. His Electro Scourge is 9 attacks at strength 10, damage 3. And he does psychic stuff where he gives you battle shocks and makes yourself immortal wounds. You know, or... It's the army roll. My Warlord is usually a Tyrant, who's the big, super stompy dude. He's got tons of guns. Look at all these guns. He's got a giant plasma that shoots at strike 9, AP 4, 3 damage. And you can't set up around 12 inches, within 12 inches of him. So, it's going to be interesting to see. And like with the points, like if they just range stuff points down a bunch to make it balance the melee, I might end up having 4 big knights. Who knows? We all got lots to see, and we're all going to have to kind of relearn a bit. Because we don't know what's coming up. People got lots of ideas. But I do know that from everything we've seen, melee is getting a buff. Hello there, Dark Owl. Boy, I read that wrong. Well, with knights, we'll have to see. I mean, against beast nagas, blow them up at range. Anyway, well, Dark Owl, I'm working on Chaos Knights. Boy, my brain stopped 100% there. I'm working on currently on a Knight Despoiler. Set up to be a twin Gatling love boat. You a fan of the Warhammers? Grim Reaver is working on his Blood Angels. And we've just been shooting the shit about who and what and what's going to happen with the new edition and how it's going to affect our armies. Oh, thank you very much. The one in the turnstile is one of my brigands. I have a whole bunch of carnivores here to go with them. I've got my... get over here. Abominant. Big, ugly, stompy dude. It's like an action figure. Oh no, you cannot play it. Well, you don't have to play to enjoy. If you're unable to play, hopefully whatever is stopping you will eventually get resolved. There are other ways to play the game, though. And if not playing it, there's a boatload of books to read. Oh, you don't get a Warhammer. I've heard that, actually. I've heard that from someone else, Dark Owl. That they were in... I want to say Brazil, and they was next to impossible for them to get anything. Well, then what I say for you, sir, and or madam, get the books. Not like the game books, but there's so many novels out there. And a lot of them are very good reads. And you can absolutely enjoy the lore, and some of them are goofy, some of them are not, some are serious. Hell's Reach is depressing. Lions on the Forest is hopeful. Hey, if you're not the greatest at reading them, look for the audiobooks. And you can listen to them. But it's a fun way to enjoy the hobby without, expending extreme quantities of funds that it can take now and then. And you still get fun of the lore. There's lots of it. Blade Guard vets are super duper strong. I got a bunch for my Dark Angels back there. Did I do? Yeah, I got Blade Guard vets over there. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. Man, there's hopefully other ways you can enjoy the hobby. What do I want to do with this shield? Oh, I'm struggling. And all these parts will eventually, there's lots of parts here. All these parts here will go into one figure here. And that's Fights First is changing. So we're going to have to see how that works. Because they did say that it was changing, so it's not going to be as strong as it was. Or is. The heck did you just get paint all over me? Paint. Alright, I really need to decide on what to do with this shield. So this is like the Storied Shield trophy from Another Night. Is what it's on here. Honestly, I'm thinking going blue. Like, it came from this night here. Like, if I put that shield in a blue and really, battle damage it up, that's what I'm going to do. It's been decided. It's going to go blue. I'll go blue to match the blue of the knight mask that it is wearing as a trophy. So we take some blue paint. Put it on our palette. Oh yeah, no, this is all battle damaged up. There's holes in it, there's scars in it, there's a chunk missing. And then these other knight masks are broken and damaged. So right now I use an interesting game. Oh, there is if you have access to Steam, you can use Tabletop Simulator. There are a bunch of mods for Tabletop Simulator. You have to buy the game Tabletop Simulator, but it's not terribly expensive. And then there's a bunch of free mods so you can actually play 40K with it. And I've seen tutorial videos. I've not watched them all the way, but I do know those tutorial videos. I think it's $10 US. I don't know. I know it's not. It's a moderate price for the way things are right now. But that's all you have to do is pay for Tabletop Simulator. All the mods and everything you need to get other stuff is free. And there are tutorials on YouTube on how to set it up. So, $10 US, considering the price of most Games Workshop products, is quite a good deal. But that is a way to play 40K. That's probably the most affordable way to play 40K. All right, Grim Reaver, get some rest. Absolute pleasure talking to you. And I will catch you another night. Thank you, thank you. Oh, goodness. Boy, my stomach is a fire. Okay, so that's nice. Very contrasty compared to the other stuff on this model, which is what I want it to be. I am dreading the other shoulder pad because it is nothing but skulls and trophies, and that is going to be a pain in the butt for me. I did the rockets, right? I did the rockets, okay. Don't worry about the rockets. So part of the reason I'm jumping around on what I'm painting is I gotta let things dry, and then I'll come back, and then I let it dry, then I come back, and then I let it dry, and then I come back. Ugh, I need some fresh water here in a moment. Actually, I think I'll do that right now. If y'all don't mind, I'm going to take a quick break. It'll be less than 5 minutes, probably like 2 minutes at max, just so I can. My water's looking kind of icky, so I need to replace that real quick, and then I'll see. Grab myself. I'm out of refreshments of my own, so we'll be right back. All right, I was like, listen a minute. Clean water acquired and drink acquired, which I'm going to take a moment of. Ah, there we go. So anywho, Dark Owl, what's your favorite faction? I play a little bit of everything. Not everything, but I play a lot of things. Astra Militarum. Drive me closer. Absolutely. Imperial Guard is one of the most fun core factions there is. Large dry brush. And honestly, like, there was... Oh, speaking of Astra Militarum. I haven't built him yet, but I did pick up the man, because he's the man. I bought it just to collect, because that's just a really good looking model. Yarick. So I'll build him at one point soon and paint. I will paint him up. I don't know how good it'll be, but I will paint him up. Astra Militarum is solid. I see we're missing stuff. So that's tanks. That's where my brain was going, and then I got distracted by Yarick. I was picking up this army. I was going to be working on. I also got to paint this guy up too. You sit over there for a moment. I was working. I'm like, I want to do another 40K army, but I wasn't sure what army I wanted to do. It was going to be basically like one of three armies. Either Imperial Knights, which I'm throwing things on the floor. Either Imperial Knights, which I was like heavy thinking about because I love the big stompy things. Chaos Knights, which is what I ended up going for, or, and the reason I didn't go with it at the time was a Imperial Guard tank army, and they didn't have a detachment that really focused on Baneblades, because I wanted Baneblades. I love the Baneblade. It is a monster. It is a big honking thing. They're just so cool looking. I love them. And we went to what's called Adepticon, which is the big Warhammer convention out here. And I ended up finding a really good deal on Rowhammer. I did see the Gladius is free. I added it to my library. I haven't played it, but I'm like, hey, it's free. Why not? But I ended up getting a good deal on a specific box set for Chaos Knights, which is why I ended up going with the Chaos Knights. I really do. Chaos tends to be my jam. But shortly after that, they came out with a tank detachment. And I was like, I would have gone Astra Militarum with Baneblades. But that Rowhammer, my kid has played that. Because I remember her playing it and then like coming down and talking to me about Warhammer, because she knows that I've been doing Warhammer for a very, very, very long time. I've been playing this game since 1994, so it's been a bit. She's like, is this that game you play? And I'm like, it is. So yeah. That was way too much. Actually, no, I need this to be a heavy dry brush. Two Baneblades. The one that has a double Hurricane Bolter and a Shadow Sword? I can't remember which the name of the one that has the Hurricane Bolters is. But yeah, I was absolutely going to be... I would rock... Like, I had planned it out. I was going to have one traditional Baneblade, and then one of the version that has the double Hurricane Bolters, which is a Titan weapon. Silly Tyranids. Tyranids are in their... I love the buggies. Don't know which ones those are off the top of my head. I have to look again. That's the All Burrowers. That's they have a detachment for that called Subterranean Assault. That's a valid army. And then especially with the new one that just came out, the Red Terror, who's an extra burrowy character, it's seriously a valid army. Just pop up out of the ground and you got a ton of hard-hitting folks. I'm going to take a pause for 1 moment while I take my medicines. Fortunately, I'm old. Medicine is Red Terror. Here we go. Red Terror is he's a beautiful model. So right now I'm dry brushing on kind of wear and tear over this. Well, you never know. There's a lot of, I can tell you from having played a lot of the games, there's good lists, but it really comes down to the player. Okay, yeah, there's some lists and some battle sheets, data sheets that aren't the greatest, but at Adepticon, the giant convention with the biggest tournament there is in the nation, in the United States, one of the people that was at the very top of the list had a what is widely considered the lowest winning rate army there is, which is not Deathwatch. What is Death? No, not Deathwatch. It's not Inquisition. Imperial Agents. There's a guy that has an Imperial that almost won the tournament with an Imperial Agents army, which is considered like the worst army you can have. So, and he blew the people were like floored at how well he did with his army that's supposed to be one of the worst. So yeah, the list has an effect, absolutely can affect. But a lot of it is the player. So, and tower something. My very dear friend of mine, I haven't seen him in a while, had a Tau army for a long time. Alright, so those are those. Mostly done up. Okay, that needs to soak off its stuff. Paint on my hands. I do know about Helldivers. I have not played in a long time. I know that they just announced a collab, which is going to be Astra Militarum and Helldivers. But yes, I do know Helldivers. I did play for quite a bit. Now, once you dry brush, always clean your brush afterwards. There we go. I want to get as much paint off of that as possible, because brushes ain't cheap. There's another game that's free right now. The Vampire Survivors. Warhammer Survivors, I think is what it's called. You can play the demo for free right now, if I remember correctly. Okay. So, I'm getting my base coats down on everything before I really start digging into the details. I'm putting it off, but I need to not put it off as a shoulder pad of Battlefield trophies. Except I should have put my dry brush away because I need to dry brush this weapon too. I'll do that in a bit. I just finished cleaning up the dry brush. I need to focus on this. Oh goodness, excuse me. Check something on the phones real quick. Oh, what is? Okay. This is get all the skulls. Hello there, Mason.avi. I am working on Chaos Kniggets, as the word brigand on the turntable says. How you doing this day, night, whatever it is for you? It's evening for me. I'm dreading this because this is going to be pain in the butt. I got lots of first-time chatters. Hello there, Ethan Critch 330 Eastern Time. I'm in Central, so we're not far off. Hello there. I cannot say your name, Ethan. Something. Just exploring the world of 40K. Well, I'm an old hat, as it were. If I can get it out and not drop too much on the floor. Call me Rich. All right, that works for me. Thank you. Mason, I've been playing the game since 94. Back when Tyranids looked really goofy. Like, man, some of these models were... Woo-wee. Anywho. What about what brought you in to explore the worlds of 40K? And Rich, are you a player of the Ks of 40 as well? Or any of the GW products? Just get into 40K, build my army. Nice. What army are you building? I am working on Chaos Knights, which are big, stompy, the evil big, stompy robot boys, like this. Mortificators. Aha, the Marines. This is my Knights, Abominant. They all got silly names. This is the Abominant. All my Chaos Knights are corn flavored, hence they are bleeding bloodletters of various degrees. So, I'm also magnetizing them because I get lots of parts. I play Space Marine 2, Trying a digital version tabletop before I start buying stuff. That is a fair way to do it. Was just talking to another viewer, Mr. Dark Owl, about the tabletop simulator. Thank you very much, Rich. It's worked a lot on that one. No, the Mason.avi is looking to get into 40K, and they're going to be doing the trying out on with a game system. And I was recommending. We were talking about Tabletop Simulator as a way to play the game without having a large financial investment. And 40K by lore and reading the books. There are a lot of great books. I've read quite a few. Ronehammer is on Roblox, right? Yes, is a Roblox version as well, where you can play with stuff. It's another way to try it out before you buy it, Mason. What factions are you thinking of, Mason? And my favorite book I've read so far was Lion, Son of the Forest. I liked how it took a relatively comedic approach. Not comedic, no. A hopeful vibe, which is not normally 240K-ish. 40K is not known for the most hopeful things. Salamanders, Sons of Vulcan. Salamanders are awesome. And salamanders appear in the Hell's Reach novel. Because they help Grimaldus in the defense of Hive Hell's Reach for a little bit. So part of being chaos. All right, these guys are very custom and decorated. And this shoulder pad, let me zoom on in. I modified the shoulder pad to be nothing but skulls and trophies. And the back behind it is going to be blood, which is why I'm putting down a red base coat first on there in some of the nooks and crannies, and then I'll be using one of the technical paints called Blood for the Blood God. Go figure. That will leave it wet looking. Twice Dead King. I don't know which one that is. I'll have to look into which the Twice Dead King is. Salamanders are one of the chapters that mainly does actually care about humans. More than others. And it's not that... Okay, Black Templars don't really give a crap. It's but a lot of the chapters, or a lot of the Space Marine chapters, it's not that they don't care about humans, but because Space Marines they don't view themselves as human really anymore. They tend to not be able to associate with them mentally. It's in the Necron line of books. Okay. Twice Dead King, that makes sense. I need to read Infinite and the Divine. I've basically been told it's Necron Looney Tunes, and it's supposedly a lot of fun and a fun book. So I haven't really interacted with that much. That's fair. Battle Sisters are unique. They got some really cool stuff, but the Battle Sisters are a fun take on it because they are human. They're not modified folks, but their spirit is their devotion is so extreme that they become demons. Saint Celestine is a demon. The living saints are demons. Exactly. They are ridiculously mad. I mean, heck, they even have their newest model that just came out is Sister Supreme in like a chair that has heavy bolters and melter rockets. She's just in like this giant chair going, kill shit. The Battle Sisters do represent the most 40k of 40k armies. They have a tank that there's a sister that plays an organ on the tank, and as she plays the organ, it fires missiles. Sounds like I'm making it up, but I'm not. I can't remember the tank's name. It's something everything's Redemption, but I cannot remember what the name of that tank is. But it's based off a Rhino chassis. I can picture it in my head. Absolutely, Rich. I listened to the Lions on the Forest on audiobook and Hell's Reach, and he's an Inquisitor. He's a goofy guy. Eisenhorn. That's a tough one. At the moment, I'd recommend holding off on anything because the 11th edition is coming up. And it's going to change. There's going to be a lot of different stuff. So, and Kill Team models do have for the digital version. You can play a bit of the digital stuff. The hang-up is that if it updates to follow the rules when 11th comes out, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, especially if there's no real investment in it. Then you'll be fine on that. But I was thinking more the physical side of things. I would say hold off a little bit. So when the guys I watch play in the game shop I go to. Nice. The game shops are the way to get into it and play it. But if you've decided to go with Space Marines, Mason, as your army, like if you've played a bit of the digital before making the investment, with the launch of 11th, look for almost all the models. Like I'd say 99% of the models should be transferring over. But with the new edition, you're going to find people that will buy the box set, but only want the orcs. So you can be like, hey, can I buy your Marines? And you'll be able to get the box set of Marines for probably pretty cheap. I see that all the time. I've done it. I've been a part of that. I've bought probably 4th edition, I would say. We're going back a ways. Bought an old edition of the game where I bought the base box and I bought the Tyranids out of the base box, and a friend bought the Marines, and we just split it up. So that is a way to kind of mitigate the cost a little. Is that if you can find someone that like, oh, they want the orcs, which there's going to be a lot of people that want the orcs because the orc models are really, really good with this edition, and orcs have been needing some new stuff. So you'll find some people that just want those orcs, and you can pick up the Marines if you're going to go with Marines. Most of the models will be transferring over. I haven't heard of anything specifically that's not. And they did kind of confirm that even the old stuff, even if it's not going to be directly in the new edition, the fact that Legends is going to be in the app. Legends data sheets. So it used to be when they were retiring a model, it would go to Legends. The rules were still somewhat out there, but it was harder to get. So less and less people played it. Absolutely. Orcs are stupid fun. The Marines in the base box are, on the art and everything, are shown as Blood Angels. But the Marines in the base box have no chapter iconography. You can paint them as any Marines you want. You can make them Mortificators. You can make them Salamanders. Or Enriches doing the Mortificators. You can do them as any chapter you want. The base box just has them shown as Blood Angels because, frankly, it's been Ultramarines for like 4 editions. Sorry. So, the Ultramarines needed a rest. Let someone else take the thing. So, all the stuff in, that's something that they've done, like even in 10th edition. The 10th edition was Ultramarines versus Tyranids. I bought the 10th edition box, and I built them and painted them as Dark Angels, which I don't have. Oh no, I got one right here. I run them as Dark Angels. This is straight from the 10th edition box, but just done as a Dark Angel. This is the transfer decals. These are kind of stickers. We call slide transfers. So they're done that way so that it doesn't limit you. You can absolutely paint them up from the base box as anything you want. Now, the base box itself, the Armageddon box, ain't going to be cheap. They never have been. But the way around it is if you got no interest in playing orcs, find someone that's looking to save some money and only wants the orcs. Like at your local game store, hop on the Discord, talk to the people there. That will absolutely happen. Every model in the big base boxes are not specific. So the Jump Pack Chaplain, okay, yeah, he's got limited uses, but he's still a badass dude. And he can lead that group of Jump Pack guys. He's mostly Dark Angels. But no, the once you're buying stuff outside of the big base box, then they start getting specific. And there's also the most important thing when selecting a 40k army. That's the weapons are not specific to a chapter. Not really, no. Some chapters are more known for certain weapons. Apologize for the weird noises. Our dog is very excited. Some chapters are known for weapons. Salamanders are known for flamethrowers. But just because salamanders are known for having flamethrowers doesn't mean other chapters don't. There's a Dark Angel Incinerator. So Mortificators are known for science. Yes, some chapters will all the chapters will have specific models outside of the stuff. I don't know if I have any painted ones I can show you. Like the Lion. Primarch of the Dark Angels. He's a Dark Angels model. That is, yes, he is a Dark Angels model. Okay, hold on 1 second. Go take a shower and get comfy.
Am I stinky?
Yes.
Cool.
Mortificators are oversized, but like the Lion or Marneus Calgar is, Ultramarine. But here's one of the most important things also that is for Warhammer 40k. It's called the rule of cool. If it looks cool, ain't nobody gonna care. As long as you're not modeling to cheat or to have an advantage, no one cares. Really. If you make something unique and it looks cool, even the better. I'll give you an example. You can sorta. One of the biggest things is the size of the bases. Different models have different size bases. Here's a large base from a named Bloodletter. These War Dogs have a 100mm base. So if I were to make their base bigger or smaller, I can make it bigger and they can kind of cheat it, like stuff like that. But it happens very rarely. But a great example of it don't matter. This is a Hormagaunt. This is a Tyranid Hormagaunt. Here is a regular Tyranid. I custom modeled this guy to use a squig for the body, the orc squigs. I put on the weapons that a Hormagaunt has and put them on the Hormagaunt base. I did this because it's goofy and I like the way it looks. Nothing more. I call them Squigginids. So that is, another one I'm kind of working on are these guys. These are Dead Marines. This is Primaris Intercessors. They have the Death Watch shoulder pads, but they all have skulls, and they're all dead. They all have battle damage. Doing it because I like the way it looks. As long as you're not trying to put weapons on it that it, so this guy, these knights, I have magnetized the weapons because they're expensive. And I want to use all the weapons that comes within the kit. But say I had this guy like this. This is twin Gatling cannons. I can't be like, oh, that's a battle cannon. It's not, it's a Gatling cannon. Now, if you were to change it, like, oh, I'm shooting this round, but he's got a battle cannon. In a more calm, chill game, hey, I built it this way, it only has this weapon. Is that cool? Yeah, just make sure you remember that you use it. Go on to the battle cannon. Now he's got a battle cannon. But no, in general, I've seen some really cool conversion kits using the Lion, the Dark Angels Primarch model. I've seen it converted to all kinds of crazy stuff for like other chapters and other things, and it looks amazing. And no one's going to be, oh my god, it's you're cheating because you can't use that because it's the Lion. No, they're going to be like, holy crap, that looks cool. What does it do? The game is more forgiving than a lot of people think in that way, and it's something that Games Workshop has pushed hard to get to. It used to be kind of toxic and kind of people got angry and stuff about, it does WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get, stuff like that. That's paint. Realistically, whatever keeps you painting. Over here, oh, I lost the light. I have a thing to replace these. I just haven't put it up yet. This is all GW stuff. I use it because I go to a Warhammer store once a week and sit and paint and chat. So it is easiest for me to just grab some of the paints. The quality of these paints is just as good as anything else. The bottles do suck. You will hear people complain about, oh, the Citadel stuff is horrible. It is not. The bottles do suck. That I will agree. I did manage to snag the Squidmar Vallejo special effects paint set just because we met Lucas from Squidmar. He's a really nice dude. and I want to support them. And it's got some really fantastic colors. But realistically, the paint, whatever keeps you painting, is the one to do it. Whatever is most accessible for you, easiest for you to get, and has the colors you want. Citadel is one of the biggest out there. I personally, like I said, I have the Citadel paints. I have no problems with them other than the pots. The paint pots suck. I get over it. It ain't that big a deal to me. Vallejo, I love their brushes. They're right in the middle ground for me for price and quality. And I've used some Vallejo paints. I've also got lots of AK War Game products. This is desert stuff. Textured paints. I'm losing the light. I also use Vallejo's diorama stuff. So like for my bases on all my Chaos Knights, these bases are done with cork. I build it up, and then this ice is actually a resin that's poured on top of it. There we go. And there's skulls floating around, which I do need to get some. I need to dress up some more stuff. This snow stuff is a GW, a Citadel GW snow effect called Valhalla Blizzard. There's a lot of good paints out there. AK makes good stuff. Army Painter. I'm using an Army Painter wet palette. I see a lot of people out there that say, "Oh, this is horrible. That's great." Use what I've seen people paint with testers paints, and still come across with really good paint jobs. It's whatever keeps you painting. You gotta kind of trust the process. It's going to be ugly before it looks good. Like this is hideous looking.
330 followed your channel.
And thank you for the follow, Rich. This looks hideous to me at the moment, but this is very early in the process, so it's going to take me a while to get through the detail, and I'm going to hate the fact that this is all I glued all these skulls on here. I don't know why I did that. Oh, that's gonna be a pain in the ass. I do need some blood belcher for that, though. But yeah, I've used about everything as far as paints and stuffs, and nothing in particular is like I feel is any better or worse than anything else as far as quality. I will say one of the easiest things if you're looking to it is one of the like GW starter sets that has a series of paints, some basic paints, a brush or two, I think. One of them comes with like nippers, so you can clean off your models. That is one of the easier ways to kind of get in. I'm sure Army Painter has something similar too. I just don't know it. It's like a nice starter set. There's like a piece of paper towel on the bottom of that. Get that off. And as you start going, the more you get into it, the more you'll find what works for you. Maybe Vallejo brushes just don't fit your hand right and you don't like them. You really prefer the Citadel fancy brushes. Or you love the Army Painter brushes. Or you want to, go with the Squidmar's brand new brush set, which I'm not buying because I have brushes. Or else I'd buy it. Again, it's the thing that whatever keeps you doing it is what matters the most. Also, like availability. Mainly because I go to a Games Workshop store every week. Thus, the stuff's instantly available to me. So, I pick up my paints when I need there. Contemptor and the Venerable. A lot. Venerable Dreadnoughts are the old style little boxes on legs. They're big, chunky, square on little legs. That's the old. Oof. I wonder if there's in a battle a picture of an army here. The Venerable Dreadnoughts are the old ones. Contemptors are the new style of Dreadnoughts, which are bigger, a bit better in proportions. There's old tanks. Don't know if there's a picture of an old Dreadnought in here. I thought there was. That's Orcs. Oh, that's a speeder bike in Marines. I swore there was. Back here? Oh, that's Guard. Basically, the Venerables are the original Dreadnoughts from back in the day. And the Contemptors are the newer ones. Or not. Like that. That's Redemptor is the newer Dreadnought. Newer Dreadnought style. Realistically, your army will be, if it's current stuff, will be the Redemptor and the newer style Dreadnought. Unless you have old, like the only real main Venerable Dreadnought that's still out and doing stuff is Bjorn the Fell-Handed. Because he's the oldest Marine, still functioning-ish. And they wouldn't dare remove him from his Dreadnought chassis, which is very, very unique. But you still get Venerables. They're still not bad for their points. They're not as powerful or have as good weaponry as the new stuff, or as tough. But it's just like cars. There's a lot out there. Another thing, when you just start in painting stuff, there's a lot of great YouTube tutorials, a lot of great stuff out there, but take it with a bit of a grain of salt, because a lot of those people have been painting a very long time and make it look so damn easy. And there's having an army that's painted, even if you feel it's not painted very well, but having like an army that's fully painted hit the field is such a cool feeling. Even if they're not painted the greatest. But if you have stuff that's painted, you're already ahead of the game. You're already better than a lot of people. And I mean that in a kind-ish way, because I see at the store I go to, there's one of the folks there who's incredibly skilled. That this guy can paint. His stuff is phenomenal. But that's only, like, in his demon army, his 40k demons. He has, I wouldn't even say maybe 10% of it painted, if that. And he's played against armies that aren't as well painted as the stuff he has painted. But because the army is entirely painted, it looks so much better than his stuff. Like, you see a few small things like, oh, that looks amazing. What about the rest of them? Like, well, they're not done. Okay. So, like, in having just anything that's painted, even if you don't think it's great, you're already ahead of the game. You're better than you're not better, but your stuff looks so much cooler than a lot of these people out there that are, brilliant at painting, but don't ever get it done. And if you're ever going to be playing in a truly competition sense, you actually get it at an advantage. You have 10 victory points for a battle-ready army. Which means everything is battle-ready. Doesn't talk about quality of paint. Just says that they're painted. So, things to think about as you get into it. The reason I do this streaming stuff is that when growing up, I painted at a store with friends, and I kind of miss that. So this is my way of getting it back. I paint and chat and talk about the game and silly things with it. Or I build, which that'll be... Realistically, at the rate I'm going, I'll probably be assembling the next night next week. Be my guess, because I think I'm going to have this guy mostly done by like next Friday. Hopefully. Whatever gets you there, gets you enjoying the hobby. That's what matters the most. As far as your dreadnoughts go, you can have them in just about any flavor. There's heavy melee versions. Depends on the kit. With the dreadnoughts, I don't think it's as useful as it should be. Only because they come in separate kits that have... I'd have to see the actual... what comes in the sprues. So like the Ballistus Dreadnought doesn't have the same weapons as the Redemptor. No, don't apologize. I love the questions. I'm just thinking about it, because I know that the Ballistus doesn't have the Power Fist. It doesn't even have an option for the Power Fist arm. So, and then there's... I can't remember which one it is, but there's one that has 2 lightning claws. I don't know if that... Or Brutalis. That's the one. I don't know if the Brutalis kit has the ranged weapons. So, it might be just a bit of the way that they're packaged and sold. I don't know if the magnetization thing would work. Part of the reason it works for the knights is this right here. This is... I'm working on a Knight Questoris kit. I'm building it as a Chaos Knight despoiler. But this kit, you can build a Defender, a Crusader, a Gallant, a Warden, an Errant, a Paladin, or a Questoris, or a Despoiler. Or, like, it comes with all these bits. Like, this guy here, this one came with... I have the 2 arms he's equipped with, but then you have a Laser Desecrator, Thunderstrike Gauntlet, big honking chainsword, and enough parts to make them all. So, on the Dreadnoughts, though, I think they are technically separate kits, so I don't know if you would get what you need to make the magnetization worth it. If you go to a place called, a website called Magnet Baron, I would take a look at what they have for magnet no drill kits and see if they make one for Dreadnoughts. And that would be a way to see if, because if they don't make it, then I guarantee it doesn't come in a kit that way. Magnet Barons, who I use their magnet kits for my knights. But that would be a way to see it, because if they don't make a kit for it, then I guarantee it's not sold in a way that you would get the parts. So that's why I would say look into that. Dog is excited again. And if they do make a kit, and you do want to magnetize, I would recommend Magnet Baron's kit. Because one, they're just awesome people. And their kits are actually really, really well done. Should do some mortise pattern. Oh, good. Okay, so I got that done, I need to do red on this. I'm almost ready to start really getting the details now. Except on the guns. It just popped in my head that I did not touch the guns much. So I should work on that next before I get into details. Too much details. Oh, I also gotta do the metallic on this chains. I mean, you would hope that the Dreadnoughts are able to be magnetized, but the more I think about it, I don't think they are. I don't think they really come with enough in the boxes to really magnetize them. Like, the more I think about it, I'm like, no, I don't. Oh, absolutely. Anything that's not a really, really mainstream chapter, absolutely, you're going to be doing a bunch of digging and figuring stuff out. Well, I'd say start it. Way to keep yourself from getting too overwhelmed. Pick one, like, start it on tactical squad. Pick just one set of Primaris, just some basic tactical Marines. Excuse me. which I think are technically Tactical Marines now are Primaris Intercessors. Start with just that. Okay, I want to make these guys as the your Mortificators, Primaris Intercessors. What do you need to do to accomplish that? Okay, I need these bits, I need those bits, I need this. Cool. That's where you've got to kind of be able to focus in and run with that. Because the more you get into looking at all the other options, yeah, there's a lot out there. But if you can narrow it down to, like, I just want to, focus on these intercessors. Okay. Just working one squad at a time. So anyway, what I did here is a bit of a painting technique that's called slap chop. I'm using stuff from that, which is where you take your base coated stuff, you put a heavy dry brush over it, and then once it's dry with that heavy dry brush over it, you then use something like a contrast, or it's usually called a speed paint in like Army Painter or Vallejo. It's basically very watered down paint, and go over that, over the dry brush section. And that's how I was able to get these kind of green metallic glows. Well, this is the color I wanted to run with. I wanted to look a worn down, greenish, kind of beadly shine. It doesn't look as good there. And that's what I did for these, though I didn't do it there. I'm like, I need to work that out. I need to dry brush on some silver there. Yeah, that's how I got that metallic look out of this light green. It's called the Eldari Emerald color. So let that one dry. I need to do dry brush on that. Also, always close your paints. Don't leave them open sitting out next to you, or else you're going to spill them and make giant messes on yourself. Take that from personal experience. A lot of personal experience. Or another way to do it, if you're trying to get the hang of it, pick up just one model. One Marine model. I'm going to hate myself, but I know I need to do this differently. I need to base this black first. I'm going to lose the richness in the color if I don't. If I just do it as bright, it won't come out as well. So, don't be afraid to mess it up. I messed up pretty good on this guy with my primer not being warm enough, so it's got this weird chunky texture in spots that is ugly. But I ain't gonna let it stop me. I'm gonna keep working on it. Yeah, I definitely need to base this black first. Yeah, maybe check out your local game store. See if anyone's got an unpainted marine. So a lot of the spray primers need to be at a like normal warm temperature, like say 50 something, 60 degrees. And if it's too cold, it will spray out chunky. And I mean that literally. Like this shoulder head right here. It's got this kind of like grainy texture on it right there in the corner. It's because the primer was coming out in thicker chunks. So now, normally, what I do if it's chillier, because I'm in the Midwest, so it can get cold. If it's chillier, I will take the primer and put it in a bowl of warm water. Just sink the spray can as much as I can. And it warms up the primer just enough so that it flows out smoothly. And I get a nice smooth coat on my model. I did not do that with my black because I didn't think it was necessary. I didn't think it was that cold because the metal primer I used here is perfectly fine. And it's sitting next to the black primer. They're touching each other in the basement. I was like, oh, I took the one out, sprayed, I'm like, oh, it looks fine. I took the black out and I shook it up. I didn't think I needed to warm it up. And when I sprayed it, came out chunky and went, shit. I could have like stripped it off and done a bunch to clean it up, but I was like, you know what? That is going to be so much work because of the extra detail I put on the models, as far as extra bits, to strip it off. Didn't worry about it. I'm like, you know what? I'll just deal with it. Granted, the texture it came across on this carapace piece actually looks really nice, but I could have made the texture without having it be chunky. But stuff like that's going to happen. You're going to have models that come out looking not the greatest. That's your challenge on how to figure it out. Yeah, since you have a store that you go to where you said those people played, see if anyone's got an extra marine model they'll let you buy. I think they might even give it to you. Then you can play with it and get get your paint scheme, like how you want it to look. What do you want to do? Like the mortificators, usually use scythes are their weapon. Well, there are the scythes of the Emperor. I think they have slide transfer decals. Pretty sure they do. Which are, you could maybe, those decals, you can cut them. Maybe you can cut one of the size of the Emperor. Sorta. Talking to Rich about ways for him to try things out as far as like paint schemes and stuff like that and see how it's going to look kind of without dropping everything into it. So right now I'm putting on the base coat of black on this shield on the front of these Gatling cannons, because if I don't put a black base coat when I do my dry brushing and my green stuff, it's going to come across like here it lost its richness. Like up here it has this richness. So I'm basing this in black first, and then I'll dry brush on a light silver. And then from there I will, once I do the heavy dry brushing, then I will put on my emerald green color that I'm using for all the armor on this guy. Or on this knight, that is. No, I don't have too much more time left tonight, so I'll probably just get this black done and then call it for the evening because it is late. And it's Central Time. And I do have stuff to do tomorrow. I gotta do groceries. Do you want to spend some time with the wife and kid? These other people that live here? I do like them. It's nice to have the family in the house. Speaking of button. Oh, you're in Ohio. Okay. I'm just outside Chicago. If you want to read a fun slice of life Warhammer comic, written and drawn by my wife, called Orc and Squig. It is about an orc and his pet squig. The squig is heavily inspired by our dog and her inability to be normal, which, unfortunately, she's not on her pillow, so I can't show you the dog. So I would change the camera so you can see the dog. But absolutely feel free to check out her comic. Just fun silliness because, even Warhammer doesn't take itself that serious. There's a lot of goofiness. They just released, for the Astra Militarum, they just released a new character that's the hero of the Imperium. I can't remember his name. Caiaphas Cain, I think. He's a 2 miniature thing, but his book is silly. That's the whole thing. Like, all his achievements are like goofy. Like he stopped a Tyranid, or he stopped an Orc Wog because he was fleeing a Tyranid invasion, and the Orc Wog and the Tyranid invasion hit each other. All his things are like goofy consequences and wrong place, wrong time. But that's proof that even Warhammer doesn't take itself seriously. The orcs have the best solution for getting teleported and not going crazy by the warp. Because when they use their teleportas and their shock attacks and things like that, they make the orc wear a mask so he doesn't see the horrors of the warp and go crazy. Simple as that. Alright, so clean off a brush. Always clean your brushes. That's another thing, Rich. When you're painting, always clean your brushes. Maintain them. Just like any good tool, maintain it, it will last long. Okay. And new. So for tonight, I got a lot of paint down on this model. I got the guns mostly prepped for detail work. I've got the shoulder pads prepped for getting into the details. I even got my missile launchers, which can be fielded as the missile launcher with the blue for me, or with the rocket face, depending on how I want it. Got the melta-gun started. The only thing I did not really get started on is the bloodletter. I'll paint him separate because he's separate. He's only going to be stuck on the base. I did start off this evening by doing a bit of work on the base. So that should still be drying. Yep. here is the base for this guy with that textured paint that's drying right now. This stuff is all wet, so I'm not going to touch it. But this is cork that I use, and then all these areas here, I will paint blue underneath. And then they will get filled with a resin that's dyed to make, and I will put a texture stuff on top to make it look like ice. And I'm also going to put a few skeletons, because chaos, why not? But anywho, with that, we'll be pretty much done for the night. I stream most Saturdays, and then every Sunday and Monday from 10 p.m. or 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central. That's the reason I'm ending, and I'm already losing track of what time it is. What resin do you use? Multiple stuff. I'm currently using AK's Ice Resin Diorama Kit. Actually, need to almost order another one of those. It's this thing right here. Resin Ice by AK Dioramas. I also use AK's Stillwater product. And at the moment, Vallejo's Diorama FX product. This is a single part stuff that you'd put weird. It's this goopy stuff that somehow turns translucent when it dries. And the combination of those three things makes this ice effect that I have going on. And then I use Valhalla Blizzard to get the snow effect. And then blood and drips and drops. If you look up AK Wargaming, they got a ton, AK Diorama, and all kinds of crazy stuff for doing terrain. And just cool diorama effects and rust and just really neat shit. So, anyway, with that, I will be on tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central to 10 p.m. If y'all want to hang and watch, absolutely. I'll keep working this guy. Realistically, probably by like Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll be assembling him, final assembly stuffs, gluing him, and then getting him attached to the base. And maybe by end of next week, I'll be assembling the next big night. Howdy, Midwest. Sorry for you coming in. I'm actually just about to end. If you're looking to watch tomorrow from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central, I'll be on. I'm going to keep working on this mess of chaos night craziness going on. Here's his brother. He'll end up looking like this dude, but not purple, he's green. But sorry that you came in right at the end. I'm exhausted and getting ready to head to bed. So thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate y'all here. And I will see y'all tomorrow if you're on. 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Have a good night.